guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we're going to be getting messages and predictions for your month of January 2023. We're going to start off with a general overview of the month where we look at the main energies that you're working with and the main events, and then we are going to move into the specific areas of your life. So we're going to be getting predictions for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So there are 3 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. So for option number 1, we have green Apophyllite and Stilbite. For option number 2, we have pink Amethyst. And for option number 3, we have Celestite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the green Apophyllite and Stilbite, which I just think is so gorgeous. I did not know this crystal existed until I saw it at the store, which I think is actually the case for a lot of the crystals that I buy. But anyway, this is going to be a reading all about your month of January 2023. So like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to start off this reading by just getting an overall vibe of the energies and the main themes that you're going to be dealing with this month. And I want to look at these oracle cards for the general overview part of your reading, starting off with the Ocean Dreams Oracle. This is a new deck for me. It's the first reading I'm using it in, so I want to read the passage from the guidebook for this one. So group number 1's, your card is Cleansing Waters. And let's see what the guidebook has to say about this one. Oh my gosh, I literally just opened up the guidebook like that, and it was on the right page. That's awesome. Which actually in itself might be a message for you guys in the month of January, where you think about something and then it literally happens right away. So for example, you are thinking about a person and then like 2 seconds later they send you a text message, or you're thinking about an object that you can't find and it literally shows up like 10 seconds later, or you're thinking about a pigeon and you see a pigeon. I think you guys get the picture. You think about it and then you see it in your reality immediately. So one theme for you guys in the month of January is going to be fast manifestation. I also want to mention that I just saw the number 147 on the camera timer, which may seem like a random number, but it's very specific for me. When this number appears, it lets me know that you are in alignment. Like the very things that you desire are in alignment with your destiny. The very things that you desire are in alignment with your highest good. So for those of you who are wondering, like you really want something to happen in your life, you want to manifest a specific opportunity, a specific relationship, you want to manifest living in a specific place, and you're wondering, is this really what's going to make me happy? Is this really what my soul wants for me? What my spirit guides want for me? What the universe wants for me? The answer is yes. Your desires are very, very well aligned with what is truly going to make you happy and what is in alignment with your life purpose and even in alignment with your destiny. I want you guys to know that. And just what I feel intuitively from this energy is that this is a month where you're getting very, very clear about what you truly desire and starting to feel excited about it. And I know like January is the first month of the year, but I really feel for this group, it feels like there's something special about this year. Like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like this year is going to feel different. I just feel like this year is really going to be my year. And Spirit is saying you're absolutely right. So, okay, finally, let's take a look at our passage. This passage is on pages 64 and 65, in case those numbers are relevant for you guys. So for cleansing waters, we have the keywords sacred vessel, energetic hygiene, and releasing blockages. So right away from these keywords, one thing that you guys might be doing, or an energy that you might be feeling really strongly in January 2023, is really treating your body like the sacred vessel that it is. So I think that this can definitely be referring to the things that you put in your body, whether that is food or like literally like other people, you know, just being very discerning, being very picky about what we let into our body or whom we let around us, saying positive affirmations to our body, showing gratitude for our body. Personally, when I think about the literally like hundreds of big and small tasks that my body does for me every single day, most of which I probably don't even know about, like every organ, all the little cells keeping me alive, doing their functions properly every single day without me even having to think about it. It makes me so grateful for my body, and it makes me realize how honestly petty it is to judge your body for what it looks like. And I actually get emotional when I think about it, because like even through times where I've like hated my body and said really mean things to it, it still loved me unconditionally. It wasn't like, oh, you're gonna talk crap about me, I guess I'll stop working for you then, I guess I'm gonna shut down. No, it just kept going, and it kept loving me and keeping me alive, and it honestly makes me so emotional. So maybe repairing your relationship with your physical body is gonna be a big theme of this month. Starting to take care of it because you want it to thrive, not because you're punishing it. And also even like energetic hygiene, I'm thinking of like boundaries, like, you know, if society tells you that your body needs to be this way, or if you have a family member or anyone in your life who tries to police your body or tries to judge your body for superficial reasons, it's like you're building a boundary there where you're like, no, I'm not gonna let that get to me. I'm not going to play your game. Like, I have such a good relationship with my body, and I'm so grateful for it. So it's like you're building confidence as well. Okay, I feel like I'm talking a lot for this group. You may be also taking a trip to your hometown, because I just looked up and saw 613 on the camera timer, which happens to be the area code of my hometown. Shout out if there's any Ottawans, anyone from Ottawa watching this, any 613 brethren. But yeah, a trip back to your hometown, back to your roots could be significant as well. Anyway, let's finally read that guidebook. I release all that does not serve me. I transmute negative energy into a positive force. All living beings have an energy field, and how we tune into this can determine the essence of our vital life force, the energetic waters that flow within and around us. Just as we cleanse our physical body, our spirit body also benefits from clearing out energetic debris that accumulates over time. As humans, our thoughts and experiences can affect us mentally, physically, and emotionally. We may pick up on negative low vibrations throughout the day and carry these with us unknowingly. Over time, this can lead to physical ailments or sensations of discomfort, preventing us from feeling fully optimized and soulfully nourished. Becoming aware of our energy field and developing our own clearing practices can be wonderful methods for supporting our daily lives. There are many ways to explore this purification process. One thing I want you guys to know, I had a really strong visual when I was reading this passage. And I started feeling the urge like I was gonna space out. Maybe you have heard me say this at some points during my readings, but it's such a weird feeling to describe, but it's like I get an urge to space out. I feel a spacing out coming on. And what this means is that there's either a lot of spirit guides around or a very, very powerful one. And I think group number 1 for your case, there is a very, very powerful spirit guide coming through. I am getting archangel vibes. I'm getting deity vibes. A very huge, powerful being is with you. And what they told me is that, like, literally on January 1st, at the start of the new year, they did some kind of massive energetic cleansing for you. Almost like they cleaned your slate. Which is like a huge, a huge spiritual bonus. So you might find moving into January that certain energetic blockages that you had dealt with, manifestation blockages, are suddenly gone. Any physical discomforts or ailments are suddenly gone. Think of, like, I don't know, digestive issues suddenly clearing, skin issues suddenly clearing, insecurities that you had suddenly clearing. There's a feeling of like, I wiped things clean for you. I'm giving you a head start at the start of the year. It's like a deity, I think, who really, really favors you because of the work that you do and the work that you have done. I'm not sure if that's like what you do professionally or like the work that you've done on yourself that is helping this world become a better place. But they really, really appreciate you for the work that you've done. And so they wanted to give you this little head start at the start of the year. You will see repeating ones when this deity is very, very close to you or when they're doing work on you. Or you might wake up in the middle of the night at the same time. Like you might keep waking up at like 3:42 a.m. or keep waking up at like 2:16 a.m. I think you guys get the picture. And this is them like doing work on you while you're sleeping. These are very, very specific messages coming through. So cool. Okay. Let's keep reading. Where is my energy needing some gentle cleansing or care? Water is a sacred container and transmitter. We can feel into this force in the physical sense through having direct contact with water, such as swimming, bathing, and showering, or connect with its elemental magic through the power of visualization or cleansing rituals. So bathing in water could be very healing and very powerful for this group, whether that is a bathtub, a shower, an ocean, a pool, whatever it might be. But if you don't have access to these kind of bodies of water, you can also visualize bathing. Visualizing is very, very powerful as well. This card comes as a loving sign to clear your energy. Next time you're immersed in water, it literally says this next, in the shower, bath, or a natural body of water such as the ocean, invite its energy to absorb and transmute any stagnant buildup in your vibrational field. You can also invoke the cleansing grace of water by offering a blessing or prayer. Imagine or visualize all that is not attuned to your highest good, flowing and clearing out of your body. Return this energy to the earth and give thanks. You may wish to refer to the ritual work chapter in this book to help guide your practice. Well, maybe you feel called to get this deck, and maybe you feel called to read the ritual work chapter. But anyway, I'm going to leave the guidebook passage here. This is such a gorgeous deck. Another thing that came through while I was reading is that the deity who is with you, like beetles are like a symbol of them. Beetles and the color gold. Okay, so let's get into the next cards, shall we? So from the, oh my gosh, Cosmic Guidance Oracle, we have Speak Up. Use your voice to express yourself. So one thing that is going to be a point of focus in the month of January, and I think just a theme for the rest of the year, is speaking up for yourself, whether that is asking for help, speaking up when a boundary is crossed, speaking up when a boundary is honored and you're happy. Like, speak up in both the more negative ways and the more positive ways. Telling someone how you truly feel, whether that is feeling love towards them or feeling bothered by something that they have done, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all of it, speak it. And I think also what we're doing in the month of January is getting into the practice of speaking things into existence. So when you are in a positive state of mind, when you're feeling good about something, when you're feeling grateful for something or excited about something, speak it out loud. Speak it out loud to yourself. Call a friend or text a friend if you're like me and you don't like talking on the phone. But get in the habit of speaking it or writing it, because what this does is it will reinforce it to your brain that good things are happening for you and exciting things are to come. So when something good happens to you and you're like excited about the direction that you're going in, don't let it just end at like doing a little happy dance or like just being happy in your head. Speak it. This is going to be super, super powerful for you guys. And I think just in general, you're becoming more comfortable with speaking up this month. If you are in a classroom environment or if you're in like a group work environment where you have a lot of meetings, you might find that in January you are like raising your hand more or unmuting your microphone more in the Zoom meeting. Like you have more input, you feel more assertive, you feel more like I have valuable ideas. And if someone like makes a mistake or someone crosses a line, even if it's like a person of authority, and I felt like using finger quotes because maybe for some of you guys it's not actually a person of authority but just someone that you put on a pedestal, like you're not going to feel uncomfortable to call them out or to correct them or to speak up. I just got a visual of like, this is very specific, but like an older person or a boss figure who's like telling you something you already know, or telling you something that they've already told you like 10 times, and it's like, did you forget that you already told me, or like, do you think I forgot? And you actually being like, oh, you've already told me this actually, or like, no, I already know how to do this actually. Whereas before you might have felt too awkward to do that, so you just sit there and let them talk for 5 minutes. Like, oh no, like Richard, you already told me this story. There's something like that. Being able to ask for help, but also being able to say, actually, I don't need your help, and like feeling empowered enough to say that. So next, let's take a look at some astrological cards to see what energies we're working with in January. Ooh, we have mutable. And we have Libra with I balance. Okay, the 19th of the month could be a significant date, January 19th, as well as when the moon is in Libra. So I'm gonna look at my moon app, and this might take a minute because it is not January right now. So I have to scroll to January. When is the moon going to be in Libra in January? From the 13th to the 15th of January. If you are in the Western Hemisphere, it might be from the 12th to the 14th, depending on your time zone. So let's say the 12th to the 15th of January, as well as the 19th, could be significant dates. Libra people could also be significant in your life this month, as well as people who have mutable signs. So that's Geminis, Virgos, Sagittariuses, and Pisces could be significant people in your life. But one of the main energies, mutable energy, is all about change. It's all about the idea that nothing is set in stone. And just going with the theme of this being, the first month of the year, and with that message of things being wiped clean for you, I really think that you're coming into this month with a feeling of, I can really take my life anywhere from here. I can take it somewhere completely different from where I've been going before if I want to. When I look at this card, I feel endless possibilities. I can do anything, I can be anything, and I can also change anything I want in my life. And when I put these together, it's very beautiful. Like, you have the power to change things. If you don't like something in your life, you have the power to change it, and you have the power to speak up about it. I feel like we're not just going to be quiet and accept the things that are handed to us if we're not happy with it, if we're not 100% happy with it. And even in this cleansing waters card, there was a feeling of really raising your standards of the type of energy that you will allow around you, or into you, or even allow from you. Like, you're holding yourself accountable for the type of words that you say and the type of things that you engage with. This is like, you're really, really only accepting the best for yourself this year. And I love that. With this Libra energy, this is a beautiful energy, but I'm thinking of one of the challenging traits of Libra energy, which is it can be tempted into people-pleasing energy. So this could be something that we're changing in January. Like, we're not going to do that anymore. The only person we're going to please is ourselves. Well, no, and other people, but we're not going to please other people at our own expense. That is very, very important. We're not going to set ourselves on fire to keep other people warm anymore. Yes, so this is all about the potential for you guys to change and to have a year, like, physically, emotionally, spiritually, professionally, that is completely different from the previous years. Like, you can really make this year whatever you want. I also want to point out that we have balance here, and then we also have a black and white staircase and black and white wings, which is making me think of yin and yang. So this could also be a month or a year in general. I just saw 1919, by the way. So 19, that's an important number. A year where you're really balancing out your masculine and feminine energies, really striking the perfect balance between, like, selfishness and selflessness. Libra is all about partnership. So you could find that navigating your partnerships and navigating your boundaries with others becomes a lot easier this year. It becomes really obvious when you need to set a boundary, and it becomes easy to speak up about it because you're not afraid. You're not afraid of losing anything. If you were to lose anything or anyone by setting a boundary, that's not really something that should be in your life in the first place, because those situations and people that are meant to be in your life will be in alignment with your boundaries. Libra could also be indicating that love, partnerships, relationships could be a big theme for you guys in January. The number 19 is making me think of actually the Sun card, the Sun card in tarot. So Leo energy could be significant as well. A Leo person, or just Leo energy in general. It's making me think of a relationship that is very carefree and very passionate. Okay, so let's take a look now at our tea leaf fortune cards to see more specific events of this month, things to look forward to, things to look out for, or just additional messages from Spirit. So we're starting off with Yoke, feeling tied down or frustrated. Mountain, major challenge to overcome. And chain of events that will affect your life. So I feel like this could be you guys getting over a feeling of being stuck, getting over a feeling of being trapped, or being restricted. So I'm honestly not sure what this is referring to, but if you can look at your life and think of a place where you feel trapped, where you feel stuck, where you feel like you can't truly be free and truly express yourself, maybe it's work, school, a relationship, maybe it's your freaking brain, like your own brain, your own thoughts make you feel tied down and restricted. I feel like this month we're getting over it. But with chain here, first of all, I think that getting over this is going to lead to amazing opportunities and amazing blessings in your life. But I feel like this is also like, once we get over this mountain, we have an understanding of why it was there. So for example, if this is like a job that makes you feel tied down, frustrated, restricted, stressed out, and you're leaving this situation, it's not like we're getting out of there and saying like, screw that job, like that, I wasted so much time. We're saying like, okay, I'm really happy that this is over, but I'm also grateful because I do realize that for some time, I was meant to have this job. You know, everything happens for a reason. Everything is here to teach us something. So even though I don't want to do it anymore and I'm happy that I'm free, I can still look back and see the value in it. I can see why it was important that I had that experience, that I learned those things that I did, that I interacted with the people I did, because now I can take what I've learned and take the ways I've grown and move forward onto the next chapter where I will be more free. So we're not saying like, oh, that was such a waste of time, I regret that that happened. We're saying thank you for happening, and also thank you for being over. And now on to the next better things. Also, this card, when this card comes out, which I feel like for the amount of cards that are in this deck, this one comes out a lot. But this is a card that does make me think of travel sometimes. So maybe some of you guys are traveling to a place with a lot of mountains. There's even a lot of mountains in this card, or like large bodies of water. Maybe both the ocean and mountains. But yes, so this concludes the general overview part of the month. So let's move on now to the specific areas of your life. As you can see, we have a tarot card and an oracle card each for love and relationships, career and studies, and spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the Four of Wands, which is such a beautiful card. And then for your oracle card, oh my gosh. So I just flipped this over, and then it has the number 24 on it. And literally the camera timer was at 24:24. So I was like, I need to mention that after I flip over this card. But then I flipped over the card and 24 was there. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And wow, that's a beautiful number to come out for love and relationships, because the number 2 has to do with partnerships, relationships, and then the number 4 makes me think of stability and security. So this is showing a really stable, committed relationship for you. And the number 4 can also talk about like destiny and fate and divine order, divine orchestration. So January is a month of fated partnerships for you guys, and very stable partnerships. And it's interesting because we had the Libra card, which was making me think that like love, relationships, partnerships is going to be a really big theme for you guys this month. And then we have the Four of Wands, which is like a really, really beautiful card to get in a love and relationship reading. The Four of Wands can also talk about divine unions, which is really exciting. I'm smiling a lot right now. But basically in the month of January, you're going to be with the person or with the people who make you happiest, who you feel bring out the best in you, and with whom you feel truly safe, secure, and at home. These could be people who are already in your life or whom you already know of. If there's someone coming to my mind when I talk about this, the person who makes you most happy and feel the most at home, that is them, like literally the person who's coming to your mind. For others of you, this could be a new person coming into your life. If, you know, someone who you feel truly at home with doesn't ring any bells, this could also be a new person coming into your life. But the main partnership that is being shown here is a divine spiritual partnership. It is a divine union that we see here. And what I'm seeing is that it's very strong, sturdy, stable, and committed in the month of January. The Four of Wands can talk about weddings and marriage, and also agreement. Agreement makes me think of a wedding or a marriage, because you're literally like agreeing, like signing a contract. We will be together forever. So some of you guys, if you're already in a relationship, you could be getting engaged in the month of January, or if you're single, you could be entering into a committed relationship in the month of January. If you're already married, then your marriage is going to be spectacular in the month of January, really beautiful, really harmonious. I see a happy home life, so you could be living with your love interest or moving in with them. I also want to point out like 4 and 24, April 24th could be a significant date, like maybe someone's birthday. But I feel like, yeah, this is talking about a commitment This is like a union. We have the word agreement here. This could also be like you and your partner or you and your love interest, like resolving conflict, like you're coming to an agreement about something, you're talking through something, you're speaking up, and you're finally coming to the same page about something. But the overall energy for your relationships this month is that you feel very secure, which is maybe why you're able to speak up, because you're like, I feel safe enough to speak my mind, even when it's not the happiest thing, even when it's a little bit of an uncomfortable topic to speak about. I know that my person respects me enough and will listen to me even if it's hard. And I know that that doesn't put our relationship in danger, or that doesn't hurt our bond. Like, I feel so safe that I can talk about anything. There's just an overwhelming feeling of stability and feeling really safe and feeling really at home, which is just so beautiful. In addition to romantic partnerships, I really do think that this energy is spreading out towards all of your connections. So getting to spend time with the friends who you feel most comfortable around, who it just feels easy, you know? You can talk about the silliest things with them, or you can talk about nothing and just be silent together. I don't necessarily feel that this is a month of like making acquaintances, or like spending a lot of time with acquaintances, or like making small talk. It feels like we're spending time investing in those relationships that are already just so comfortable to us, that already just come so easily to us. With the exception of, I think for those of you who are single and don't have someone in your life yet, you could definitely be meeting someone who you just automatically feel that way with. You automatically feel extremely comfortable. But anyway, all of that to say that the energy in your love and relationships is extremely harmonious, beautiful, very stable, and there could be some exciting commitment, agreement to move things to the next level that is happening in the month of January. So, also I want to point out, the Four of Wands is Venus in Aries. So you could have Venus in Aries, or your person, someone significant, could have Venus in Aries, which is cool because if April 24 is a relevant date to you, maybe some of you guys out there have like a Taurus Sun, Aries, Venus person. Let me know if you do, because that would be really cool. But anyway, let's move on to your career and studies. So for your tarot card, we have the Five of Cups, which is, I think, Mars in Scorpio, I think. And then we have wholeness with Black Mulberry. We have the number 33, which could be a relevant angel number for you guys. Okay, so it does look like in the month of January, in your career or studies, there will be some minor, and I really want to put emphasis on the word minor, disappointments. The Five of Cups, oh, I just saw 31. The Five of Cups is a card that talks about crying over spilt milk. So these cups, and actually I think that, yeah, crying over spilt milk is like getting upset over things that cannot be helped, that cannot be changed. I think that that is the true traditional meaning of crying over spilled milk. Like, there's no point in crying over it because you can't unspill it. Like, crying is not going to change anything. But the way I always personally interpreted it is that, like, spilled milk is not a big deal, you know? Like, in most cases, you can just, like, wipe it up. You can just get another glass of milk. Like, it's not that big of a deal. That's always how I interpreted it, which I think is wrong, but I feel like it's relevant. And I want to say that these are really just minor disappointments, and these two cups are upright. This is what really matters here. This is what was meant for you. These cups that spilled, they were never meant for you. Like, there's no use crying over them because your true destiny and your true blessings are right here. And all you have to do is turn around to see them. This is what really matters. This is what we want to focus on. I love that you have the number 33 here because this is an angel number of abundance and manifestation and like fruitfulness and fertility. It makes me think of the Empress who has all the blessings she could ever need. She can manifest anything into her life. So I think kind of what we're seeing here is that some things are happening in your career or in your studies that might appear on the surface like it's a bad thing or that it's a failure or that it means your manifestation isn't coming, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Your manifestations are still very, very much on the way. A very easy example of this is like, let's say you're manifesting getting a new job and you go to a job interview and it doesn't go well. Does that mean that your manifestation of getting a job is not coming? Absolutely not. It just means that that wasn't the job that the universe has prepared for you. But this is the energy of someone who would then like wallow in that sadness of the interview that didn't go well and say that, oh, it's a problem with me, I messed it up, that was my chance to make my manifestation happen and I missed it, I messed it up, and really beating themselves up when they don't even realize that the universe has their dream job safe in their hands and just hasn't given it to them yet. Like, oh, you thought that? No, that wasn't it yet. Like, just you wait. Or you're trying to manifest getting a promotion, but then you overhear your boss on the phone saying amazing things about Chelsea, and you're like, oh my gosh, no offense to Chelsea, I'm sure Chelsea is also amazing, but then you're like, oh my gosh, my boss totally prefers Chelsea to me, like the boss is gonna give Chelsea the promotion. And you know, it's like getting yourself worked up about these little things that disappoint you, these little things that seem like proof that your manifestation isn't happening, when really that's not the case. The universe just isn't done yet. I'm not finished yet. So there could be some little disappointing things this month, little things that make you feel like you're off track or like your professional or educational manifestations aren't coming. But just remember that it's not the end. The universe isn't done with you yet. And your biggest blessings still are coming. For many of you, I feel like this has to do with some sort of rejection that you face, because the Five of Cups can definitely talk about rejection, but also with wholeness here. I feel like this card is here to remind you, like, I am already whole and complete. And so I think you're definitely being challenged this month with the feeling of like something passed you by, or you lost something, or you didn't make it for something, and then kind of feeling down on yourself. And you have to be reminded that that's not the case. You have to be reminded that you don't need any one specific opportunity or one specific partnership or one specific award or whatever it might be to be worthy, to be whole, to be complete. And you're still whole. You still have everything that you need to be successful. So whatever cup spilled here, you really didn't lose anything of value, even if it appeared that way on the surface. So just remind yourself when these little things happen in the month of January, you might feel disappointed in the moment, and it's okay to, like, of course, allow yourself to feel that emotion, but then come back and remember that nothing of value has been lost here. Okay, so this is so silly, but Black mulberry reminded me of a blackberry, and then blackberry reminded me of like old technology. So another message for you guys in your career or studies could be that it's time to update. It's time to update some kind of technology or update some kind of tool that you're using. Maybe you have been putting off a software update and it's time to update that. Maybe everybody switched from this app to this app, and you need to finally, like, it's like you're being stubborn about it because you're so used to the old way, but if you make the switch, it will actually make your work a lot more efficient, and you'll be like, oh my god, why didn't I make this switch so much sooner? Why didn't I make this update so much sooner? So just take a look at like the technology that you're using, the software that you're using. Maybe it's time to like get a new phone or get a new computer. You know, because I'm getting that energy of someone who, like, you know, their computer is really, really, really slow, but they're like, this is fine, I'm fine with this. But if they just like go for it and get the new one, they'll be like, oh my god, this is so much easier. Maybe you need to get a new phone plan with more data, or like new Wi-Fi, things to make your life faster and more efficient. And Spirit's saying it will be so worth it. Okay, so finally we have messages for your spiritual and personal growth. So we have the 5 of Pentacles, which is... Okay, I'm gonna cut this out because I just spent like a full minute trying to remember what what astrological placement is associated with this card, and I was just like blurting out a bunch of things. If I remember correctly, this is Mercury in Taurus. I'll put a subtitle if I'm wrong. I think that this is Mercury in Taurus, which in case that's relevant for you guys. So some of you guys, it would be so cool if there's a person, whether you or someone else, like who has all the placements that we mentioned, like a Taurus with Venus, like a Sun in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, Venus in Aries. And if they had Mars in Scorpio, that would be even cooler. Okay, so anyway, we also have, trust with Basil, and we have the number 21, which adds up to 3. And it also reminds me of the World, which is like success, fulfillment, accomplishments, completion. I feel like this energy kind of goes off of what we just spoke about before, but as a more broad theme in your life, you know, not just for your career, but really for anything that you're trying to manifest. May 21st could also be a significant date. I think something that you're really learning how to do in January, or something that's like starting to come to you more easily, is learning how to continue to have faith even in times of struggle or in times of uncertainty. Because it's easy to it's easy to be faithful and have faith when everything is going super, super well. It's more difficult when you're struggling, of course. And I think that's kind of what we saw here with the career reading. So even if you're going through a time of rejection, even if you're going through a time of disappointment, you're still able to trust in the universe's plan and say like, no sweat. Sure, this is happening right now, but I'm sure, you know, it's part of the chain of events that ultimately is going to lead me to my manifestation. This is not the end. I still have yet to see the bigger picture of what the universe is preparing for me. So I'm not going to sweat this little bump in the road. I'm sure that this is also happening for a reason. And you just keep trusting like everything's going to work out for the best. And this is something that is going to start coming naturally to you. It's not like you have to sit down and be like, okay, this bad thing is happening. How could this be happening in my favor? Or like, okay, no, group 1, relax. Like the universe has your back. It's like you don't have to give yourself that pep talk. It's just like the first thought that you have. And I can actually say that I just got to this place recently in my life. When was it? In September? Things really hit the fan for a minute there in my life. I was going through a huge tower moment. And of course I was upset. I was anxious. I was going through all of those emotions. But through all of that, there was like this anchor in my soul where I knew that deep down, like, yeah, it sucks now, but this is all happening for my highest good. And I was so happy to realize that this thought was coming to me naturally. It was just like my default, like, oh yeah, of course this is happening for the best. Of course the universe knows what they're doing right now. And I was just really nice. And if this is what you guys are going through now, or what is yet to come for you in January, I really, really love that for you. So yeah, I think this is definitely an example of that. But even like in relationships, it's easy to think like, oh yeah, this person is the one, this is the person I'm gonna marry, when everything is awesome between the two of you. It's harder to keep that faith when you're going through arguments, or when you're going through financial trouble, or when you're having disagreements. It's harder in those moments to keep that faith that like, this person loves me and I love them, and we're gonna get through this and everything's gonna be okay. So it's like you're really developing that trust to weather any storms that might come your way, because the Five of Pentacles represents like periods of lack and periods of uncertainty and insecurity. So like quite literally to be able to trust through those times is a way in which I think you guys are really, really growing this month. And I'm so happy for you guys. I forgot to mention this, but we do have Scorpio energy here, Aquarius energy here, and Libra energy here. But I think that is all for my group number 1. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you want to find me elsewhere, I'm also on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there too. I'm on Patreon, where I have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings plus new ones every month, and you get to choose the topic for those. I have a music channel here on YouTube. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was one of my original songs, so if you'd like to hear the full version of that or any of my other songs, you can listen to those on my music channel. And I also have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the temple that is in the intro of my videos, that pastel floating temple. You can find her on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of those things that I just mentioned are going to be linked in the description. Thank you very, very much for supporting me and my channel. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and lots of love to your spiritual team as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the pink amethyst, this is going to be a reading all about your month of January 2023. And actually, I'm pretty sure that this is also pink amethyst, if I'm not mistaken. This was an impulse purchase, but I'm pretty sure the website said pink amethyst. Okay, so like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to start off this reading with a general overview of your month. So we're going to basically see the main themes and the main energies that you're working with in January. And we're going to use these oracle cards to do that. But I want to start off with this card from the Ocean Dreams Oracle. And I'm going to read the passage from the guidebook for this one, because this is a new deck for me. It's my first time using it. And group 1's passage was really beautiful. So let's see what we have for group number 2. Inner compass. Polar bears or bears in general could be significant to this group as well. But let's take a look at the passage. Inner compass, and this is on pages 88 and 89, in case that's relevant. It's funny because one thing that I do know about the symbolism of bears, and I think this comes from like the Lenormand cards, like the bear indicates someone who's in a position of power or authority. So I thought that maybe this card was coming up for you guys, you know, indicating that in the month of January, you will be stepping into a more empowered energy in general, but specifically you could be entering into a position of more authority where you have a better reputation, you're getting more recognition, you have more executive power in what you do. And Spirit has a funny little way of bringing messages back. If they come into my mind once and I don't mention them, Spirit will bring it up again. And I feel like that's what Spirit was doing by showing me the number 88, because this is a number that makes me think of abundance and manifestation, but more specifically manifesting goals related to your career, related to your finances. Of course, there's many other meanings of this angel number, but that's the one that really stands out to me the most often. So you could be very blessed in your career in the month of January, and especially feeling really empowered, feeling very capable, very proud of yourself. But let's see what this guidebook has to say. Following your true north, soul purpose, visionary quest. I also feel called to say, for those of you who know your birth chart, people who have the sign of your North Node could be very significant and play a big role in your life this month. So for example, my North Node is in Scorpio. So if this were my reading, it would be telling me that Scorpio people will be significant to me. If your North Node is in Pisces, then it would be Pisces people for you. If you know your North Node, or if you feel called to look it up, you might want to remember that. But moving on, I'm guided by my inner compass of purpose and intuition. I have faith in my vision. I am resilient to challenges. A guiding light to intrepid souls, Polaris has navigated humanity across vast seas and parched deserts since the dawn of time. This bright star is easy to spot in the night sky by charting the Great Bear constellation, which stands out amongst infinite star fires and even city lights. Polaris is also called the North Star because it sits still at the North Pole while the rest of the northern sky turns around it. When we know our true north, we have our bearing in the world. Polar bear means sea bear in ancient tongue. This majestic creature thrives in one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth, north of the Arctic Circle. Its white fur blends in perfectly with the snowy landscape, enabling it to move silently despite being the largest predator on land. With a water-repellent coat and deep fat reserve, it is insulated from icy harshness, undeterred in its visionary quest. So, on one hand, I feel like this is spirit letting you know that you guys are very much on the right path towards your calling, but also reminding you that you have what it takes to take this journey. You were literally built for this journey. So any obstacles that come your way, any hard times that come your way, just remember that you were built, like it's literally within you, the ability to make it through these. And I think this is also spirit saying that whatever obstacles you might come up against on your journey, spirit has your back. Your spiritual team has your back. I'm hearing like nothing is unsurmountable for you. Any challenge you face, you will make it through. And this might sound a little bit cheesy, but I feel like spirit wants to remind you that you have survived every day of your life up until now. You have made it through every hardship up until now. So the current ones that you face or the ones that you'll face in your future are no different. For those of you who are going through a hard time, you will get through it. You will be successful. You will triumph. And there's just this feeling of you guys being so empowered and so proud of yourself. I've been getting a lot of like visuals during the reading today, and one thing that I'm seeing for you guys is a volcano, but I'm not sure the significance of it. You might live somewhere where there are active volcanoes, or maybe it's symbolic of like a volcano is about to erupt. You're about to have a breakthrough in your life. I just saw 555 when I said that, which means like significant radical change in your life. So maybe for many of you, this volcano that I'm seeing is a sign that like you are about to burst forward with passion. You're about to have a huge breakthrough in your life. I also saw like keys. So you could be finding the solution to a problem. It could be indicating doors opening for you. I had the visual of a key. It could also be that if you wear any jewelry, you know how there's like necklaces that look like keys or maybe earrings or something like that. If you put, you know, the image of keys on your body, maybe some of you guys even have a key tattoo, I don't know, that could bring you a lot of good luck. So let's keep reading. Polar bear embodies fortitude, courage, and purity of spirit. We may call upon this powerful guide when we are moving through unknown waters in pursuit of our soul's calling. This card rallies you to stay true to your mission, even if there is no shore in sight. Let your purpose be your own North Star. It will not lead you astray. Polar bears are able to rest on floating sea ice. Try to replenish yourself with moments of grounding and self-care in times of instability. You have within you an inner compass born of integrity. It speaks to you via intuitive whispers. When we wash away the ego dramas, judgment, comparison, conditioning, I really like this word, ego dramas, the directions become clear. Just as Polaris is an obvious star in the sky, the guidance you seek is often in plain sight, patiently waiting for you to notice the sparkling signs all around you. Have faith, dear one. Your soul map lights up when you follow the cosmic breadcrumbs of synchronicities. Oh my gosh, I'm like getting chills reading this because I feel like you guys who chose this group, you're on a path that is leading you to something so great, so amazing, like so beyond your comprehension. The impact that you're going to make, the success, the blessings that are coming to you, it's beyond your comprehension. I'm so excited for you guys. I also want to give you this reminder that yes, this journey might be tough, but it's also okay to take breaks. At any time, you can put this journey on hold. If it's becoming stressful, if it's becoming a lot, you can always put this path aside, like these goals, these projects, whatever it is, you can always put it aside and it will be right there waiting for you. I guess I just don't want you to feel guilty if you get tired on this journey, or if you maybe feel like focusing on something else for some time, or yeah, if you're just busy or tired or overwhelmed or whatever it is, you can always take a pause, take a deep breath, and get back to it. Sometimes I'm a runner and I feel like running has a lot of metaphors for life. Sometimes, I try not to like slow down or walk. And sometimes I would even feel guilty for it. But sometimes it really just takes even like 30 seconds of stopping the run and walking, and then you can get back to it with a new burst of energy. Sometimes it's really worth it to allow yourself to take that period of rest. And I guess I would never want you to feel like you're a quitter or you're incapable or like you're not committed to your dreams just because you're taking a break. Maybe even some of you guys like are taking a gap year from a study program, even though you know deep down this is what you really love to do. Maybe it's just a lot of work, and maybe you need a semester off or a year off, or maybe you need time in between jobs. And like I want to even say those pauses are built into your journey. And you should never feel guilty for them. They're literally built into your journey. Okay, one more thing that I want to do. I do have a spirit animal book, and I'm pretty sure that there is a polar bear in here. It says, be assertive and strong in both your communication and your actions, yet be willing to yield as necessary. Treat yourself with respect and maintain your dignity at all times. Before you take action, pause and observe the situation. Then when you're ready to make your move, commit to it fully and without hesitation. Use only the amount of energy needed for the task before you, rather than diverting it to unrelated matters. This is a time to nourish and replenish your body, mind, and spirit, so prepare the means to do so. You're about to embark on a spiritual adventure, one that will awaken some of your innate gifts and qualities that have been dormant until now. I'm so excited for you guys. This is going to be not just an amazing month, but an amazing year for you, because we're in January. We're like right at the start of a new year. And I feel like this is a year where you're really committing to your purpose. And I'm just so excited for you guys. So let's see what else we have for our general energies. Oh my gosh. From the Cosmic Guidance Oracle deck, we have bees, hard work, commitment, and perseverance. Oh my gosh. Wait, I have to show you guys. So I went to Sapporo a while ago, and there's this like town nearby Sapporo called Otaru, and it's like famous for glass. And look at this! I had to buy this because it was so cute. And in the moment, I didn't really have any special reason for buying it. I was just like, oh, this is cute. And it's half bear and half bee. Like, and these are your animals. I love this. Isn't this adorable? It's a little bee bear. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. Let's put him here. Okay. Yeah, so hard work is paying off for you guys. I feel like this is simultaneously saying the work that you do put in January is going to be paying off, but I also think that in January, you're going to see a huge payoff of work that you had done in the past. So like you've worked really hard on your goals in the year 2022. And then in January, that's when you're going to start to see things come to fruition. I'm also thinking of bees you know, working together. Like they have that hive mind, they have a like-minded goal, and there's 2 bees in this card. So one thing that you could be manifesting in the month of January is encounters with like-minded people, like who share your goal and your vision, that you would either partner up with them and like work on a shared project together, or just by being around each other, you will motivate each other, keep each other accountable. You can share tips, you know, share your experiences of what worked and what didn't work. You have a shoulder to lean on when things get tough. Spirit's like bringing in your like-minded souls to you. So now let's take a look at a couple astrological cards. Ooh, we have Scorpio. And that's funny because I used Scorpio as an example earlier for my North Node. Oh my gosh, and then we have the 8th house, endings and beginnings. And the reason I'm like, oh my gosh, is because Scorpio and the 8th house like rule over each other, or they're associated with each other. And we have the number 32, which reduces to 5. The 5th of the month could be significant, and we also saw 555, or I saw 555 on the camera timer earlier. So I definitely feel like big change is coming for you guys this month. Big change. We have endings and beginnings. I personally feel like this has to do with your career, or like with the goals that you're striving towards, with the projects that you're working on. And you know, it's very interesting too. The 8th house can talk about like other people's assets, or like gaining something through other people. So it's very interesting that we had this message about like-minded people, possibly business partners or collaborators or something of that nature, because I feel like the 8th house can be talking about that as well. Someone could be investing in you as well in the month of January, whether like, for example, you're a business owner and someone is investing in your business, or maybe you're a student and you're getting a scholarship, or your employer is investing in you in the form of like paying for your training program or something like that. This can also indicate it's like you get gain through other people's resources. So it's like someone is paying for you so that you can further your education, so that you can develop skills, or someone's investing in your talent or investing in your project. You might even feel called to reach out yourself. I just had the image of, I can't remember which is which. There's Shark Tank and there's Dragon's Den, and one of them is American and one of them is Canadian. And I don't remember because in Canada we get both of them. I think Dragon's Den is the Canadian one. That sounds right. But anyway, you know, like reaching out to those who have more resources with an invention that you have or a project that you're working on, even if it's not complete or in its best form, because people could see the potential in what you're working on. So whether it's like an invention, an app, an online store, music, whatever it is that you're working on, see if you can reach out like to someone who can like take you under their wing, or like who can give you advice, or who can, I don't know. I think you guys get what I'm trying to say, because I feel like a theme for January is that you would get gain through someone else's resources or someone else's endorsement, or it could also be like someone else's mentorship as well. And this Scorpio energy, this is also about deep transformation, but it's also kind of about facing darkness. So one thing that could be happening this month is that you realize the fears that have held you back. For some reason, this is an example that's coming to my mind, but let's say it's like this idea of you met someone who has all the same qualifications as you, but they're getting like, they're way more successful, or like they're getting paid way more. And it's only because like you didn't realize like how qualified you were, or you didn't realize how worthy you were. And then it's this kind of shocking moment where you're like, holy crap, my own limiting beliefs about myself have held me back from so much. it's just one example, but it feels like January might kind of bring a wake-up call for you at the ways in which you have held yourself back, or the ways in which you have sabotaged yourself, when really you are worthy of so much more recognition, so much more credit, so much more compensation, so many more accolades, if that's even the right word. But you just didn't realize it, and so you kind of realize, like, oh crap, like I actually do have to face these insecurities and face these fears, because I see the detriment that they've had on my progress. But with that being said, I don't want this, and Spirit doesn't want this to be a moment of like beating yourself up or regretting, because the important thing is that you know now. The important thing is that you see now, and that you're not afraid anymore. I need to make a note that I might have to cover this boob. So YouTube is so lovely. YouTube, if you're listening, I love you. Okay, also, Scorpio people could be significant, or speaking of birth charts, because we spoke about knowing your birth sign, or sorry, we spoke about knowing your birth chart and your North Node sign. If you do know or feel called to look up your birth chart, people whose sign is in your 8th house could also be significant. So for example, I have Sagittarius in my 8th house, so for me this would be Sagittarius people. But I'm gonna look up when is the moon in Scorpio in the month of January, because those could be important dates for you. So the moon will be in Scorpio between the 15th and the 18th of January. It could also be the 14th to the 17th if you're in the Western Hemisphere, but around the middle of the month, I think is going to be important for you guys. So next, let's take a look at our tea leaf fortune cards for more specific events of the month, things to look forward to, things to look out for, or just any other messages from Spirit. Ooh, so we have March. I know this is a January reading, but the month of March could be important for you guys, like this coming March. Things that you're doing in January could bear results, and you could be reaping the results in March, or like reaching a culmination here. If you apply for anything or submit anything, you might hear back news in March, or a person born in March could also be significant. We have pineapple with reconciliation. So you could be, I just saw 2020, by the way. Oh, interesting, because 2020 was the year that everything hit the fan. So maybe in January 2023 with reconciliation, you're finally starting to feel like life is back to normal, or like you're getting back to like post, I don't know with YouTube, like are we even allowed to say the P word? Because people would say like panini and panorama to avoid saying the word. Anyway, post pre-2020. your life is getting back to pre-2020. So I don't know, for example, oh, my fitness level is back to pre-2020. My finance, my sociable life is back to pre-2020. With reconciliation, it feels like something is coming back. You're recovering from something. This could, of course, be you reconciling with a person. So if you're in separation with someone, if you're in a conflict with someone, then pineapple could be indicating that you are coming back together with them in a harmonious way. Also, some of you guys might want to get a haircut because this looks like hair and this looks like hair to me. Get a haircut, or maybe get like a wax or something, you know, depends on what kind of reconciliation this is. And even with pineapple, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, tortoise, slowly but surely getting ahead. So I feel like that's a very beautiful message for this group, because yeah, it's like slow and steady wins the race. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to ask for help or partner up if you feel like your journey is a lot. And remember that it's better to get there slowly than to not get there at all. Like if you are running a marathon and you finish it walking, you still finished it. And I just saw 2222. So that's the most important. 2222, definitely look into like professional, business, creative partnerships. That could be really, really beneficial for you. And also, your vibration is rising. That's another meaning of repeating twos. At least that's one that I saw recently and it stuck with me. So this concludes the, what was that? This concludes the general overview part of your reading. So we're going to move into the specific areas of your life now. So I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for love and relationships, career and studies, and spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And for your oracle card, we have Courage with Time. Okay, so, oh, and on this card we have, this is fire energy, and then we also have Libra energy. So a fire sign person, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or a Libra person could be very significant for you, whether that is a love interest, a friend, a family member. They could just be playing a really big role in your life in January. Also, I've just been feeling like doing this today for some reason. I don't do it all the time, but like seeing if the numbers together make a date, and these ones do. 1013 could be indicating October 13th, which is that, isn't that Jimin's birthday? I feel like it is, but it's also my anniversary. Anyway, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to disrespect Jimin, but I feel like that's his birthday. Anyway, so what we can see for your love and relationships with the Wheel of Fortune here is that there is change happening in your relationships, especially new beginnings. So some of you guys could be like getting back with someone, if you want to, of course, don't panic. If you don't want to get back with someone from your past, we don't have to do that. But for those of you who are wanting to, whether that's like getting back with an ex, getting back in touch with someone that you kind of drifted apart from, seeing an old friend again, even like having a family member back in your life. This could even be going back to work for someone again. There is potential for people to be coming back into your life, especially with the number 13 here. This is the number of the Death card, but in this situation, I'm thinking of, you know, the cycle of death and rebirth. It feels like something could be resurrected. If you're in a relationship, this could be indicating like the passion is being reignited, the spark is being reignited. There is Scorpio energy in this card, and there's Scorpio energy in the Death card. And that can indicate like intimacy in general, but also specifically like physical intimacy. So that area of your life could be very fruitful, very enjoyable in the month of January. Or like that aspect of your relationship could be very enjoyable. Anyway, the Wheel of Fortune also indicates the universe working in your favor. And I feel like the vibe I get from these two cards together is that the universe is going to be providing you... Oh, first of all, pay attention to signs and synchronicities that you receive about any specific people. Because they are relevant, they are real, and they are important. So like seeing repeating numbers when you think about someone, dreaming about someone all the time, you know, synchronicities popping up in the things that they say or do or post or whatever it is. Just pay attention to those, because I do feel like they're trying to tell you something. But yes, what I see here is that the universe is going to be providing you with a lot of opportunities to bring about the changes that you want in your relationships. But with Courage here, I feel like you have to be bold enough to take them. So, for example, okay, this is just one example, but of course it could apply to so many different situations. Let's say you're a student and you have a huge crush on one of your classmates. And so you're like praying to the universe, like, please let me be in a relationship with this classmate. And so the universe keeps putting you in group projects with this person. So you're spending a lot of time together, but still nothing's happening. And you're like, what the heck, universe? And the universe is like, well, group 2, like, I kept putting you with them in group projects. Like, I kept giving you a chance to say something. Like, I can give you the chance, but I can't make you take the chance. So, universe with courage here with this fire energy. I feel like this is the universe asking you to be a little bit more bold about the connections that you want to happen, whether you want to be friends with someone, you want to work with someone, you want to date someone, whatever it is, be bold to make that first move. Because like, oh yes, that's it. For those of you who keep receiving signs and synchronicities about a person, but then nothing happens, the universe is saying like, well, I was showing you those signs and synchronicities as a green light to go for it. Like, I kept showing you 1111 to be like, yes, go for it. Not to say that something was inevitably going to happen. Like, I just show you the energies, but like, you got to take the action. Is what the universe is saying to you. And just with this Libra energy, like, it will be reciprocated, but we have to be careful not to just end up in this completely passive energy. So pay attention to those green lights that Spirit's giving you, to the signs, and recognize that that's like your sign to take action for whatever change you want to bring in any of your relationships. So next, let's take a look at the energies for your career and studies. For your tarot card, we have the Lovers. Oh my gosh. Like-minded people or business partners or collaborators are going to be so beneficial for you guys, because this is literally the card about partnerships in your career and studies. So you need to get a study buddy or a business partner or something, or accountability buddy, or like, don't do it alone. And maybe that's why your journey has been very tough. Maybe you're taking on too much that you never had to do, or that you never had to do alone. I'm getting the example of, an aspiring musician who's being really hard on themselves, that they can't make these amazing projects. And they're like, yeah, and I see that with the Lovers sometimes too, like looking at what other people are doing, in this case, looking at what other musicians are doing and saying, oh my God, that's so amazing. But like, that person has a whole team, they're not doing this whole production single-handedly. They have a team to help them. And you shouldn't compare your solo efforts to someone else's team efforts. And also, you shouldn't deprive yourself from having that team who can help you. Maybe some of you guys have been averse to the idea of collaboration. Maybe there's a little element of pride of like, I can do it all by myself, or maybe it's not that. If the shoe doesn't fit, ignore me. But it really looks like Spirit is encouraging you guys to team up for your educational or professional goals. And then we have transition. There's so much energy of change for this group. I love it. And it's interesting because the cauliflower looks like a brain to me. And then these crows are like putting their heads together. 2 heads are better than 1. 2 brainstormers are better than 1. It's like you have your brilliant ideas and someone else has their brilliant ideas. And when you put them together, it will become something amazing. It could be a specific person that Spirit's wanting you to partner up with. You might know who they are already. Or it could just be that Spirit is encouraging you to be more open to the idea in general. But yeah, there's definitely partnership going on here. With the Lovers as well. Okay, there's something about you guys need to rest your brain more. Like, purposely carve out time of your day where you are not stimulated, because that will allow you to be more focused, more peaceful, and less irritable if you allow moments for yourself where you're not stimulated. This will be harder for those of you, I don't know why this just came to my mind. This might be harder for those of you who have like small children, or it's really hard for you to get a moment alone. But even just a few minutes, like we spoke about taking breaks while you're running, even just like 30 to 60 seconds can really help you recharge. So even if you literally have like 2 minutes to just like turn off everything, that can be really beneficial for your productivity, for your motivation, for your clarity, ideally you could take a little bit more, but I guess the idea that Spirit's wanting to convey is that every little bit counts. For some of you guys, for a very select few of you guys, this partner could be like on the other side of the world, because for one of these crows it's daytime and for one of these crows it's nighttime. So there might be like a big time difference between you guys. Like for example, my manager, who like is in charge of finding brand deals, is in Canada. So like, I don't know, what time is it now? Oh my gosh, it's almost 9 p.m. here. So then it would be like 7 a.m. there. But, you know, we find time to like have calls and stuff. So it works out. But yeah, you could have like a time difference between someone that you're working with, or maybe like you're going on a business trip to somewhere very, very far away. I also think that something that's happening in your career, and maybe this kind of goes into personal growth, but being able to look at what other people are doing and take inspiration from it without comparing yourself. So when you look at what others are doing, you're not saying like, oh, I should do that, but you're saying, oh, I kind of like that. Maybe I can integrate that into my own work. And you're not looking at other people and saying, oh my gosh, they're so successful. Why aren't I that successful? I suck. You're looking at them and saying, wow, it's so amazing that they can do that. And that means that I can do it too. So it's kind of like having a healthy way of relating to other people in your field, where they inspire you and make you realize what you can do and what you're capable of, and what they help you to discern like what you like and what you don't like, rather than just being this thing that you compare yourself to and like you determine the value of your success in relation to theirs. Like, it's not like that. It's a healthy way of relating. So maybe this like transition in a brain is talking about a mental transition that you guys are going through. And oh my gosh, I'm just noticing that the number 11 in some tarot decks is the Justice card, which could be talking about being more fair to yourself, but also Justice can also talk about partnerships because it's Libra energy. So that's just all over the place for you guys. And in other decks, 11 is the number of the Strength card, which is about, yes, being strong, but also being compassionate to yourself. Dates, we could have June 11th, November 6th. I'm feeling like these are birthdays, if like of significant people, if it resonates. We have Cancer energy here, and then we have Earth energy here, which is Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. Okay, so next let's take a look at the cards for your spiritual and personal growth. We have the Ace of Cups and continuance with Apple. Okay, so January 26th, that's also a date. But anyway, the Ace of Cups in this case, I feel like is talking about your own personal happiness, pleasure, and fulfillment. You know, things that fill your cup, things that overflow you with joy. And then with continuance here, and apples, which are making me think of like harvest and results, because I feel like apples grow in the fall, or they bear fruit in the fall, whatever. And fall is a time of harvest. Oh, and we have Capricorn energy, which is about discipline, and water, which is about your emotions. I feel like this is a month where you're really, and I just realized January 26th is a date in January. So the 26th could be an important date for you guys. I think something that you're really realizing this month is the importance of enjoyment, pleasure, and fulfillment in how consistent you can be. And I feel like you're going through some mental shift where perhaps in the past you used to think like, I just have to work hard, I just have to get these things done, and if I enjoy it in the process, that's a bonus. And you're switching to, it's important that I enjoy what I'm doing, and if I find success in the process, then that's a bonus. It's like you're flipping it the other way. So you're prioritizing your enjoyment, and you're realizing how important it is that you like what you're doing so that you keep going. So an example that I could give of this is like, someone who tried a workout program. It was supposed to be a 3-month workout program, but they quit after like a week. And then instead of beating themselves up about that and saying like, I have no discipline, I have no willpower, I'm so terrible, they're like, I guess I didn't like that workout program. Like, the problem is not with you, the problem is with the program. Like, it's not a fit for you. And so this aspect of your growth is you saying like, it's okay that that didn't mesh with me, and maybe there's a different workout program, a different type of exercise that I will enjoy more. And so your priority is not to mold yourself, force yourself to like this program or to go through with it, but is to prioritize your own enjoyment and to find something that you do like. Because you don't have to prove to anyone, look how disciplined I am, look how I can force myself to do things that are unpleasant, like so strong, so perseverant. You're like, I'm gonna harness my pleasure and follow that and make me productive and successful. I'm gonna use that pleasure as like a tool and follow what feels good so that I can accomplish stuff. So that person would then go and find a workout program that they do enjoy. Or like if you're studying a language, we're not gonna beat ourselves up that we didn't get through the textbook, because textbooks are freaking boring. We're gonna find a different way to study the language that is more fun, like watching movies or like reading about your favorite, like when I was learning Japanese, I would just read and watch so much content about my favorite band, and that is what really helped me to learn. They had like a radio show, they had a bunch of like interviews in magazines, and that was what made me happy and what helped me to continue. There were some textbooks that were fun, but some of them were just boring. So it's like finding what you truly enjoy is a big element of your growth, and realizing that you don't have to force yourself to do things that you don't like. And if you have to, because you know, life is life. I just saw 3939, by the way. Life is life, and sometimes we have to do things that we don't enjoy. Like that's just the way it is. I think that you're able to find ways that you can enjoy it more. So really simple example, if you hate washing the dishes, rather than like putting yourself through that torture, you're like, okay, maybe I can find a way to make washing the dishes more enjoyable. Maybe I will listen to a podcast while I do the dishes, or I'll listen to my favorite music, or maybe I'll reward myself when I finish washing the dishes. Like I'll give myself a treat, I'll give myself a chocolate. Like finding ways to just make what you do enjoyable. I feel like a big part of this is realizing that there's no honor in like unnecessary suffering, and like that's a kind of strength that you don't need to have, and you're allowed to rest, and you're allowed to seek pleasure and seek peace and seek comfort in the things that you're doing. So it's really being gentle with yourself and realizing a more healthy way of productivity. Like you guys are just becoming so much healthier way of productivity, a healthier way of relating to others in your work or studies, becoming more confident and more bold to go after what you want. Like there's a lot of growth here. There's a lot of change happening within you, and so there's going to be a lot of change happening in your external reality as well. So I'm really excited for you guys, and these are all the messages I have for you. So group number 2, I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, I'm also on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there as well. I'm on Patreon, where I have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings that will be accessible to you, plus 2 new ones every month, and you get to choose the topic. I have a music channel here on YouTube, The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video is one of my original songs, so if you're interested in checking that one out or any of my other songs, you can do so on my music channel. And I have merch at kinotarot.com, which actually features the temple that we have in our intro, the floating pastel temple. You can find her on sweatshirts, hoodies, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below. And I really, really appreciate your support of me and my channel. And I'm sending you guys so much love and lots of love to your spiritual team as well. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, and B Bear says goodbye. He's so cute. I can't. Bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the Celestite, this is going to be a reading all about your month of January 2023. So like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to start off the reading with a general overview of your month. So we're going to be seeing the main energies that you're dealing with this month, as well as the main events. And I'm going to use these oracle cards to do that, but I want to start off with this one card from the Ocean Dreams oracle deck. This is a new deck for me. It's my first time using it in a reading, so I've been also reading the passage from the guidebook that goes with the cards, and they've been really, really lovely so far. So let's see what we have for our group number threes. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So for you guys, we have clear waters. And let's see what your passage says. Okay, so clear waters. This passage is on pages 66 and 67 in case those are relevant numbers for you. Repeating sixes could be significant for this group, which makes me think of balance, health, harmony, peace. Okay, so we have clarity, soulful inventory, less is more, and clear communication. So this might be a month. This might be a month where we're focusing on creating a physical environment that is more supportive to us. I'm just reading this part. I speak with clarity and truth. I'm able to refine my outer spaces in order to support my inner world. I feel like there's a focus on thinking about how your physical environment affects you in terms of focus, productivity, or just overall well-being, and especially with less is more. There's a feeling that maybe you guys might be decluttering this month, which could make sense because, you know, it's January, it's the first month of the year. You might be like doing a big deep cleaning and just like getting rid of old things, or maybe you're already in the process of doing this just to really start clean and start fresh in the new year. I think it's actually a tradition in Japan to like do a big cleaning of your house on New Year's Day. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's a thing. Whereas like in Western cultures, we have spring cleaning, or maybe in cultures other than Western. I'm not sure, but anyway, all of that to say you could be doing a big clean out, a big decluttering in the month of January. You know, just getting rid of things that you don't need anymore, whether they are just taking up space, or maybe they're even like bringing up memories or past versions of yourself that we don't really want to pay attention to anymore, that we don't really want to focus on anymore. But I also think that other than just like tidying or decluttering things, I think you're really thinking about, for example, what color schemes make you feel more peaceful? What smells do you like to have around you in your physical environment? Do you like to have plants? What kind of lighting do you like to have? Do you like to have ambient sounds? Like thinking about what type of environment and what type of like sensory stimulation makes you feel most at peace and makes you feel the best. There could be some renovations going on in the month of January, or perhaps relocation of a home or office, or like rearranging furniture. I just got a message of like someone is getting their dream office or their dream workspace in January, or even like your dream kitchen, your dream bedroom. It feels like you're really going to be in a physical environment that makes you feel the most peaceful. And I could even interpret from this of like being geographically where you feel the most at peace. Some people really feel like they belong in a certain neighborhood or in a certain city or even in a certain country. Like there's a place that just really calls to them and makes them feel the most at peace. There could be bigger relocations or plans of these bigger relocations going on in January as well. But that's just with the first like 3 lines. So let's keep reading our passage. The ocean is a mix of many watery environments. Oh, okay, sorry. Something about this deck and this guidebook, it just brings out so many messages, which I think is so beautiful. Perhaps the deck is charged with this kind of energy, but I just love it so much. I want to tell you guys, I think that you are very finely tuned to the energies around you. And I think that you can very easily pick up on the energies of other people or even on objects that are around you, because everything has like an energetic signature or an energetic charge. And I feel like this group maybe needs to be a little bit careful about picking up on those energies, because of course they can affect you. But also sometimes it can be hard to discern, like, is this energy mine or someone else's? Is this emotion or thought that I'm picking up on mine or someone else's? I feel like you guys kind of have a tendency to pick up on other people's things. It's like how other liquids or other substances would like transmit very smoothly through water. I feel like energy is conducted to you in that same like smooth way. I hope that that makes sense. It's a visual that's like a little bit hard to explain for me, but just that I feel like this group more than others really needs to be careful about the energies that are around them. It's almost like an energetic sponge, or you have a highly empathic quality to you. And it goes for people, but also for like places and objects. So for example, let's say the person who gave me this candle has a really negative energy. If I keep that candle around in my space, like, why am I feeling so irritable right now? Or why am I feeling so on edge? Why am I feeling so fatigued? There could literally be objects around you that are charged with a certain energy based on where they came from, or the people that they've been passed along from, or like things that have happened around them. It's like they're imbued with this energy. And I feel like getting rid of some things for you would be like a huge weight lifted. Same thing with places. Like if you're in a house where a lot of bad things have happened, even if it's in the past, I feel like you guys can really pick up on that energy. So if you suddenly feel a really good energy or suddenly feel a really bad energy somewhere, you're not crazy. You're probably picking up on the energies of the people around you, the objects, or just like the location that you're in. But with that being said, I feel like there are specific locations and specific objects that you can keep around you that make you feel really good. And this month is about finding those things and finding those places. Okay. Okay, the ocean is a mix of many watery environments. Some are unruly and chaotic, churning waves and sediment into potions of nutrients and transformation. In other areas of the sea, the water is crystal clear, like a pristine window into an endless sky. Many of us covet the warm, luminous waters of the ocean, as they seem to hold us with a beautiful familiarity. Being able to see far into the distance beneath the surface also invites a feeling of safety and security, as we can find our bearings more easily and anticipate anything that approaches us. This card is here to help you take inventory of any energetic congestion that is occurring in your life. We can each take care of our inner energetic hygiene, but there's also value in clearing out the debris of our outer world within our environments as well as our interactions. This key may also point to how we refine our words and communication with integrity and truth rather than unclear passiveness. So a couple other things that I'm picking up from this energy is that I think in the month of January, a lot of you guys are getting answers that you've been needing or clarity that you've been needing about what the next steps are in your life. So Spirit's kind of saying, If you're entering into a new chapter of your life, it's not like you're taking a step in the dark or you're having to take this very blind leap of faith. I think Spirit is going to show you the clear steps and show you what you can expect. And I think that's important for you guys to remember. If you are starting anything new in the month of January, if you are committing to anything, accepting anything, saying yes to anything, Spirit is going to show you clearly what you can expect. This is not a month where you want to just like blindly accept offers or like step into the dark and just see what happens. You know, sometimes that is the energy, but I feel like in January it's not. Make sure you know really, really clearly what you are getting into. Make sure that you ask a lot of questions or wait to get the information that you need. This is not a month where we're like rushing things, and this is not a month where we're just like winging it. That could be your energy for later months, but not for January, is kind of what I'm feeling. And also, for those of you who are confused about someone's feelings and intentions towards you, I think Spirit is asking to kind of take a look at yourself and see if you have been as clear as you can with your feelings and your intentions. Because some of you just wear the shoe if it fits, but I think some of you are maybe in a connection where you're like, I just don't understand how they feel. I wish they would tell me exactly how they feel. I wish they would tell me exactly what their intentions are. But it's like, you also haven't done that. You also haven't been super upfront and straightforward about how you feel, but like you're expecting them to do it. Again, don't listen to me if it doesn't apply, but Spirit is giving some of you guys a little bit of a push to initiate that clarity and initiate that straightforwardness. So moving on, where does my life need some additional clearing or decluttering? Clear Waters comes to you now as a sacred invitation to see how your environment is either adding to or depleting your life force. Your well-being is directly affected by what you allow into your personal space. This includes the connections that populate your life and the objects that fill your home. Exactly. Take a moment and see if there's any disorganization or clutter that needs some attention. Use this as an opportunity to purge that which is not needed or joyful. You may find that in order to declutter your life, you must first let go of certain relationships, items, or patterns you've been holding on to that haven't been serving you. Use your words with authenticity and truth when you need something next time, and refine your focus. New space activates new doorways, and from here, expect your confidence to shine into your surroundings. Okay, so that's your message from the Ocean Dreams Oracle. And then from the Cosmic Guidance Oracle, we have your wishes coming true, celebrate your success. And I feel like this goes so nicely with the Clear Waters card, because this mermaid had to like swim to the bottom of the ocean to find her treasure. So it's almost like you guys are in this ocean looking for your treasure. And because it's so clear, you can see exactly where it is. I feel like this month, Spirit is showing you exactly what your next steps are, exactly where you need to go, exactly where the fulfillment of your desires lies. There's just this really strong feeling of like, we're giving you a super clear roadmap. If you ever feel uncertain, if you ever feel wary, don't force yourself to go for it. We're going to be showing you very, very clearly this month where everything is and where you need to be going. There's also a big wish for you guys that is coming true in the month of January. And what I love to do with cards like this, if a card comes out that's like, your wish is coming true, I tend to think it's either like, it's whatever came to your mind when I showed this card, or this is Spirit inviting you right now. Make a wish right now. If something didn't come to your mind automatically, make a wish right now. And this is Spirit's promise to you that I will make this wish come true for you in January. So if it didn't come to your mind automatically, take this moment to make a wish right now. And this is Spirit's promise to you that it's coming true. And also that you should be very proud of yourself. To celebrate your success. So let's take a look now at some astrological cards to see even more general energies. We have second house coming through. And then we have the 11th house with friends. So we have Taurus energy here and we have Aquarius energy coming through here. So Taurus or Aquarius people could be significant to you. But what I'm thinking of right away is that both Taurus and Aquarius are fixed signs, and it's earth and air. And so when I get earth and air together, this tells me that we're turning thoughts into reality, because thoughts is associated with air and like tangible reality is associated with earth. So when these two elements come out together, it's a sign to me you are changing your thoughts into reality. And with this fixed sign energy, this is spirit telling you to stay committed to your vision and to hold on. So some of you need this message that yes, your wish is coming true, but we need to persevere. Like, don't give up, because the answers you need are coming very soon. The communication you need is very soon. The roadmap showing you your next steps are coming very, very soon. So don't give up, don't lose hope, and stay, I want to say, like, keep your standards high and stay picky about what you really want. Sometimes it's tempting when things are taking a long time to manifest to be like, well, we start like bargaining with the universe, right? We're like, okay, maybe I don't need the whole thing of what I really want. Maybe I can take a bit less than that. I think it's tempting to do that when things are taking a long time, but this is spirit saying good things come to those who wait, aka you, because I feel like you have been waiting for something, and to not let go of that vision, to not settle, to not lose hope. I feel like these are representing areas of your life that you're going to be blessed. So you're going to be blessed in the second house and you're going to be blessed in the 11th house. Second house will have to do with your finances and your career. I feel like you're going to be blessed in those areas in January, with resources, material resources and possessions. So you could be obtaining an item in the month of January that you've really, really wanted. Just for an easy example, like if you've wanted the latest iPhone, which I don't even know what that is anymore, that's what you will get. Or like if you really wanted a new dishwasher, then that's what you're gonna get, like an item that you have been eyeing. There's also going to be positive change coming to your income, whether that's an increase in your income or a decrease in your expenses. The money that you get to hold on to each month is going to be increasing from January and moving forward. There's also something about security, like job security. So some of you guys could be moving from a part-time position to a full-time position, or you could be moving from like an internship to actually getting offered a job, or something like that. Like your position is being secured. Maybe you're getting, like if you're freelance, maybe you're getting a very long-term contract. I think you guys get the picture. But this can also talk about like your feelings of self-worth and security. So yes, and doesn't that make so much sense? Like if you're clearing away negative energy that has been messing with your head, you're gonna start to feel more confident and secure. And that's like, yes, for those of you who have been having like insecure thoughts or self-doubting thoughts, I feel like this is almost spirit saying like, that's not you. You're picking up on someone else or something else's energy. And when that energy goes away, you feel very sure of yourself and you feel very confident. And then with the 11th house, as this card literally says, we have a message of friends here. So you are also going to be very blessed in the friendship department in the month of January. So you could be making new friends if that's something that you want, or you could be getting to spend a lot more time with your friends if you have like positive friendships in your life. Just overall surrounded by good people, people who make you, who uplift you, who make you feel secure, people who are loyal, people who are stable and reliable and trustworthy. These are the type of friends that you're going to have around you. This can also talk about networking. So we see that maybe your, financial and professional situation is improving. This could be due to networking and making the right connections, having the right people see your work, meeting the right person at the right time. You're very blessed in your social life. The universe is really favoring you to meet the right people, or to be seen by the right people this month. So you're going to be very blessed in those connections as well. I have been thinking of the numbers as dates in this reading. Obviously, there is not a 35th of January, but the 3rd or the 5th could be significant, or like that window, January 3rd to the 5th. It could also be the 8th if we like reduce these numbers. But yes, let's take a look now at our tea leaf fortune cards to see any other specific events, things to look forward to, things to look out for, or just any other messages from your spirit guides. Ooh, we have Rose with romance is in the air. We have Parrot, someone will gossip about all your secrets. And we have Rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. Okay, so I can put these all together. It looks like, okay, this could go a couple ways. For those of you who are in a romantic relationship or who are looking for a romantic relationship, I feel like you're going to be very, very blessed in the love department in the month of January. So your existing relationship is going to be very beautiful. Or if you are looking for love, there's a very strong indication of you finding it this month. But it also looks like there's gonna be some people who are like weirdly invested in your relationship, or just like weirdly talking about it a lot. So maybe this is like a kind of heads up message if you are, you know, going to a new level with your partner, or if you are like meeting someone new and talking to someone. Maybe like keep that to yourself, or just keep it in your very, very trusted circle of friends. And I keep wanting to use the word weird. So maybe it's like someone who's not really that close to you, and it's like, why do you care so much? You know what I mean? Like, for example, a random coworker that like you're not really that close to, and for some reason they seem really, really interested in your love life or in your relationship. Maybe it's because they have feelings for you, you know? Maybe it's because they have feelings for your person. Like, it's weird. It's kind of that feeling of, why do you want to know? Or like, why do you care so much? So for example, let's say you get a significant other, and then someone keeps asking all about them and asking all about your relationship. Like a coworker is just randomly, or you find out that your coworker was like talking to someone else about your relationship, and you're like, what? It seems very out of left field, and I almost want to say inappropriate. It's very much giving like, why do you care? Or maybe, you know, someone's always liking or commenting on pictures that you have with your person, or like one of your acquaintances is weirdly always liking your partner's stuff or liking your person of interest stuff. It just feels like a kind of weird, someone is like overstepping into the relationship and is either asking you about it or a lot, or talking to you about it a lot. It could even be family members who are trying to be like overly invested in relationships. It's just weird. It's like, this is not your relationship. So you might have kind of like that overbearing energy going on this month, which I think, I want to say that it's harmless but annoying. So if anything, I think this is just a heads up to not worry. Like, this cannot hurt your relationship. It's just annoying at most. And maybe this is Spirit's way of saying, like, just pay no mind to these people. Like, it really doesn't matter. In some cases, this could be you guys like overly concerned with someone else's relationship. I feel like that will be very few of you. But like, for example, if you have a person of interest, and maybe you're like obsessively seeing like, oh, who are they talking to, or are they dating this person, or maybe they are in a relationship, and you're like, you know, checking up on it and stuff like that. This is just Spirit's way of saying, like, let's keep let's keep romantic relationships between the people that are in the relationship, and let's just all stay in our lanes, like whether it's someone else or whether it's you or whatever it is. And, you know, keep these things that are sacred to you just between like your really, really close friends. Like if you're someone who posts a lot about your relationship or your person of interest, maybe Spirit's encouraging you to kind of keep it to yourself, because you might be inviting some kind of, it's just weird. I'm sorry I keep using that word, but it's just weird. That's the vibe that I'm getting. But anyway, it does look like your romantic life is going to be really beautiful and enjoyable this month, and I think that's what really matters. So let's move on now. This concludes our general overview of your month. So let's move on now to your specific areas of life. And actually, I'm doing my routine last group of the day water break. Okay, so yes, okay, we have a tarot card and an oracle card each for love and relationships, career and studies, and spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with the cards for your love life. We have, interesting, we have the Three of Cups, and we have fertility with watermelon. Okay, so I've been like, I don't know what it is with today's reading. I've just been really into like seeing if the numbers make dates. So this could be March 29th, 3 and 29. So an Aries person could be significant, or Aries season, even though this is a January reading, Aries season could be significant in your love life. Also the Three of Cups indicates Mercury in Cancer, which Aries people can't have Mercury in Cancer, but Aries and Cancer energy could be significant. We also have Leo here on the fertility card, but I think it's very interesting that we have the Three of Cups coming up here, because this is a card that can talk about gossip. So like someone is just really like invested in your relationship or in you or in your person. It's like, anyway, I don't want to talk about all of that again, because I think all the messages came through in this part of the reading. But this can also indicate you meeting someone through a friend. If you are single and looking to meet someone new, you could meet them through a friend. You could meet them at a party or some type of celebration. The Three of Cups indicates this as well. Or somewhere where there's like drinking or celebrating or merrymaking or all of the above. Generally, when it comes to Three of Cups energy, I feel like this is not really like you meeting someone at work or in a professional environment or like in a really rigid environment. It's more in a relaxed and chill environment. If you do already have a person of interest or you do already have a partner, I think that you're just going to be having a lot of fun with them in January. You might be going out a lot with them, so going on a lot of dates. Maybe splurging a little bit and having fun experiences, because it does really look like you're blessed in the financial department. Maybe we're going out to celebrate your success, like you're reaching, I feel like your wish is coming true has to do with some accomplishment, right, that you've made, and you want to celebrate that. So you could be celebrating with your person or with your partner a lot in the month of January. It seems like you are in a more extroverted and social energy, but just being very discerning about who you give that energy to. So you're like, yeah, I'm feeling super social. I'm going to go out with my trusted friends. I'm going to go out with my trusted partner, rather than like, I'm going to go out and make a bunch of new acquaintances. And what else do I want to say with this? It's a fun energy. It's a carefree energy. It's celebratory. Again, the Three of Cups is about friendships. So I honestly feel like maybe this parrot and rabbit, which, like, no offense to parrots and rabbits because they're lovely, but maybe this type of people is like providing contrast that you can be even more truly grateful for your loyal friends who have your back and who are genuine with you and who are so supportive. It's one of those like If you see the dark, you will appreciate the light even more. So just these little weird experiences, I think, just really make you appreciate so much more who your real friends are, who your true friends are. I just think that you're feeling really blessed in the friendship department this month. And with fertility, for those of you who are trying to have a child, this could be a very, very positive sign for you. I think in general, this is just an indication of you feeling very blessed in your relationships. Also with green and pink together, it's reminding me of watermelon tourmaline, and also unakite is a green and pink stone, which these are stones that have the energy of balancing masculine and feminine energies. So this could be Spirit's way of saying that you have a really good balance of masculine and feminine energies around you, like in your relationships this month, which is a really big blessing. And this can also indicate like a positive, intimate life, you know, with your partner or with your person of interest. So that's always nice. But let's move on now and take a look at your cards for career and studies. So for your tarot card, we have Temperance. And ooh, we have Longevity. And those actually go very nicely together. Yeah, so you guys, because there was that message about like something being secured for you, and longevity is making me think of that, like a long-term contract, a long-term position, a full-time position. Like you're getting something that you can rely on to support you for a long time. If you are a student, this could be you getting like a scholarship for the entirety of your program. So like, for example, if you're going into like a 4-year university program, you know, you're not just getting scholarship for like the first semester, you're getting like a full, I don't even know if that's a thing, but you are, maybe they decide semester by semester based on your grades. But anyway, Spirit is saying that you will get that support throughout the whole of your program. So this is either like a long-term security in your career or a long-term security in your studies, or both, honestly. If you're working and going to school, please feel free to claim both of these. Ooh, December 14th, that could be a date. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that because I feel like I'm just reaching by adding up digits now. But anyway, I also like that we have a white flower here. It's making me think of purity, and it's making me think of a fresh start. Whatever tough situation you guys have been in financially, or whatever barriers you felt are in your way professionally, I feel like this white flower is promising that you will make it through. Like you will make it through all the obstacles. You will be able to recover from any financial hardships that you've gone through. It's like if any odds were against you in your career or in your education path, like you're gonna beat those odds. Looking at this flower, I just really, really get that feeling. We also have Scorpio and Sagittarius energy here. So a Scorpio or Sagittarius person could be significant in your career or in your studies. But with Temperance, some of you guys are getting, it's like you're getting the highest honor possible. So you could be graduating with honors, or like you could be getting an A, like acing your exam, because that's the highest grade possible. There's something about you getting like the highest possible distinction, or the highest possible offer, or the highest possible recognition. Maybe you're working your way up to like the highest position in your career or something like that, like a senior manager, if that's even a thing. And also, I feel like if there's any teachers out there, teachers are being especially blessed. Teachers are being especially blessed this month. Teachers or professors or mentors or counselors, whether you teach in an institution or just teach by yourself, you're especially being blessed this month. With Temperance here, in general, I feel like this talks about a healthy balance in your life. So a good work-life balance or study-life balance or work-study-life balance. It also reminds us to take a slow and steady approach and to take care of our health. So be careful for burnout this month. Work hard and celebrate your success, but then also give yourself time to rest. It's like important to take care of your health this month. Something that just came to my mind is caffeine. So for example, if you work really hard and then you just kind of get in the habit of drinking like a million cups of coffee without even thinking about it, maybe we want to just be a little bit more aware of that. Or if you're the type to work really hard and like just completely skip through lunch, or you sit down for a really, really long time, just be more conscious of like, when was the last time I drank water? How many cups of coffee am I at now? When was the last time I ate? When was the last time I got up and stretched or walked around a little bit? Like, just make sure that you're taking care of your body as you go about your work, as you go about killing it and working hard. Make sure that you're taking care of your health, because Temperance is all about taking a balanced and moderate approach. And some of you guys might be shifting to a mindset this month of like, making more money and achieving more results at work is not always the best. It's not like the more money I make, the better, or the more results I have, the better. If it's compromising your physical energy and your well-being and your stress levels, like sometimes it's just not worth it. So some of you guys might be moving from a more like hustle and grind mentality to a more well-rounded and healthy mentality. Because I just see balance and health here. And even like, even with clear waters, it's like just being more discerning about what contributes to your well-being and what doesn't. I'm just looking at the guidebook again, and like even like with it being on page number 66, like that's the number of health and balance and harmony. So that's what I see for your career and studies. Let's move on finally to your spiritual and personal growth. So for your tarot card, we have the Knight of Cups. And for your oracle card, we have energy. Wow. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but like the Knight of Cups is a card that makes me think of empaths and makes me think of people who are very sensitive to energies around them. One thing that I want to say about you guys, group number 3, is that you are just naturally a healer. Like, you heal people without even trying. It's just an energy that you exude. So you have a very soothing presence. I think a lot of people feel extremely comfortable around you, feel extremely safe around you. It's just like an aura that you give off. But because of this, you might, for example, have unwanted trauma dumping, or unwanted, people clinging on to you, or, trying to get a piece of your energy. And I think something that can be really hard for empaths and really hard for healers to come to terms with is like, you're not obligated to give everyone that energy. And I think when you're really compassionate, you want to be very giving of that energy to everyone, but sometimes that's not what's the best for them. And it's interesting that there's fish on this card, because I'm thinking of that expression, like, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he will eat for the rest of his life, or something like that. And I feel like, and I'm not saying we should never do this, but sometimes just being so giving of your emotional labor and so giving of your advice and so giving of your support, it can sometimes be like the equivalent of, giving the people around you a fish. And sometimes we need to not be so freely giving of all of our energy to the point that it burns us out, because sometimes people need that opportunity to learn how to take care of themselves. I feel like sometimes for this group, it's like you offer your healing energy, your supportive energy, your compassionate energy to the point that it can sometimes become enabling, like enabling other people's feelings of entitledness or people's lack of accountability. It's like at some point people need to learn how to take care of themselves, and it's not always your responsibility to fix them and heal them just because you can. So probably this is a journey that you guys have been on and that you've been, learning over the course of many months. Maybe January is a month where it's finally going to feel natural to you, and like you're not going to feel guilty about preserving your energy anymore. You're not going to feel guilty about it or confused about it. Like you'll be able to navigate your way through it when it feels good to extend yourself and when it doesn't feel good. And like you'll honor those cues from your body and honor those cues from your spirit. We always want to move through the world being open and loving and compassionate, but at the same time, we need to have boundaries and understand like what is our responsibility and what isn't, what is our healing to do and what isn't, what is our emotional labor to do and what isn't. And that can be a really, really hard balance to find, but it is possible. And it's okay for that balance to change sometimes. Sometimes you might feel like you can give more. Sometimes you might feel like you can't give so much. And anyone who respects you and respects your energy will also respect those fluctuations. And maybe that's why there's so much emphasis on like you really coming to appreciate the beautiful friendships that you have in your life, because those are the people who do understand you and do respect you and who always honor those boundaries and who never take your energy for granted. Because your energy, like look at this beautiful orange color, like you make people so happy. You light up people's life just by being around. But really, like a big theme throughout all of this reading is just being discerning about where you give out your energy and where you get your energy from. Like I think the guidebook was talking about energetic hygiene. Like that's really, really important for this group. And that's kind of something that has been peppered through all of the groups. So maybe it is a collective theme for us, or at least just for this community, that we're really like paying attention to energetic hygiene this year. But yeah. So group number 3s, those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, I am also on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there as well. I'm on Patreon, where I have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings and also 2 new ones every month where you get to choose the topic. I have a music channel here on YouTube. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video is one of my original songs. So if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on my music channel. And I also have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple in the intro of this video. We have hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of those things that I just mentioned are going to be linked down below. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting my channel. I am sending so much love to you guys and your spiritual teams. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!